Hey guys, I've been doing 30 days of grip strength training using something called the Powerball. I chose the Powerball because not everyone has the time to go to the gym just to train their grip, and the Powerball offers you something you can do at your desk. To measure grip strength, I use this Camry digital hand dynamometer. The correct way to measure is seated with your arm at right angles, but my initial test was done from standing, so all subsequent tests were as well. Strength also varies by time of day, so to make it a fair comparison, all my testing was done late morning. Most people will find that they'll get their best score in the first 2 attempts, but just to be sure, I did 3 attempts per arm. On day 1, my best efforts were 50.1 kilos on my left arm and 53.3 kilos on my right. The dynamometer comes with a sheet of strength standards, and for my age, scoring between 36 and 55.8 is considered normal, so I'm on the upper end of that range, close to being strong. Having researched grip training before, I knew that for maximal strength you should keep to short duration, high intensity efforts with several minutes rest, the same you do for other muscle groups. If you were looking for forearm size, you would have longer duration, 30 to 60 seconds with short rest periods, and you'd be looking for that forearm pump. The protocol I chose was 5 sets of 8 seconds, spinning it as fast as possible and doing this every other day. If you've not seen the Powerball before, it's just a gyroscope, and as you build up speed, it feels like it's trying to escape your hand, so you have to hold it tighter and therefore work your grip. After starting it with the string, I'd increase the speed using my whole arm, and once it was at top speed, I'd switch to just using my wrist and maintain that speed for 8 seconds. I'd then do the same with the other arm and go back and forth for 5 sets of each with about 2 minutes rest. That was followed by finger extension, which is often neglected, but it helps avoid muscle imbalances. You can buy special bands, but if you have a relatively new sports sock, that works perfectly fine. Pop your fingers in the top and do a set of 30 extensions with each hand. Then it's just a case of stretching the forearms, 30 seconds on the front and back of your hands, and that's the session over. I decided to retest every 10 days to make sure that my strength was going in the right direction. On day 11, I scored 51.1 on my left arm, 52.8 on my right, so no real change. By day 21, my scores still hadn't improved, and after further reading on the topic, I decided to stop before the end of the 30 days. Turns out that because I own a standard Powerball, it doesn't provide enough resistance for me to improve much on my 50 to 52 kilo grip. There are heavier, more advanced Powerballs, but they cost upwards of £100, and it's much easier just to add grip work to the end of your gym sessions. If you look at the Powerball adverts, some of them are a bit misleading. Here's one where they seem to have just found a picture of a ripped guy who happens to have his hands open and photoshopped a Powerball into his hands, just to make you associate owning a Powerball with being ripped. In reality, these are more like a rehab tool for people who've lost strength, maybe good for endurance work, for rock climbers, but for strength athletes, they're not much use. If you do want to improve grip strength, the best things you can do are avoiding using your wrist straps unless absolutely necessary, and then adding in something like a rack pull, 8 to 12 second holds at the end of a workout. Forearms recover quite quickly, so you could train them every other day, and some people even train them daily. One other thing I did was try to replicate some research that showed that grip strength was on average 6% stronger in the afternoon compared to the morning. I tested both arms at 8 AM and then every 2 hours up until 4 PM, and my results look like this. You can see strength gradually builds to the early afternoon. I was 5 to 8% stronger at 2 PM compared to 10 AM. That's often true of other muscle groups as well, so if you're someone who trains very early in the morning, you might find you get better results training later in the day. I hope you learned something from this video, even though ultimately the results from the Powerball were disappointing. Thanks for watching.